Hello friends, we'll start with the timer instruction lecture. So the content of this lecture are types of timers, then mechanical timer, PLC timer, on delay, off delay and return to timer, their addressing, function and timing diagram. The learning objectives are types of timers, addressing, memory mapping or timer data table. Describe the function of an on delay, off delay, return to timer and the timing diagram. Okay. So after learning this lecture, okay, so you can understand the different types of timers, how to write down the address, the memory mapping for timer instruction, okay, and you should able to describe on delay, off delay and return to timer and their timing diagrams. So the application of timers, okay, so in domestic microwave oven, washing machines, so we are setting the time period depending on the different applications. Okay? So the different types of clothes or the weight on the clothes, okay, so we can set the timing on washing machine. For a microwave oven, for different recipes, so we set the different time and temperature. Okay. In an industry, for starting of star delta timer, so we set time period on the timer so that when motor reaches to its 80% of speed, so it shifts its connection from star to delta. Traffic signals, as you know, then rolling mill, lubricating pumps turn off after some delay. Okay. So in the rolling mill, so there are large rollers are there. Okay. So for the lubrication purpose, okay, instead of using bearing, gunmetal bushings are used, okay, or bobbit bearings are used, which require lubrication. Okay. So because of the heavy weight of rollers, when rolling mill is closed, so few minutes that lubricating pump is remain on and after few minutes that pump is turned off. Okay, so for that providing delay for the turn off the lubricating pumps, the timers are used. Again in EOT crane the slip ring motors are used. Rotor resistances are connected on the rotor side and they are cut into the steps. Okay, so depending on the size and weight of the EOT crane. So for that the timers are used. Okay, so these are the various applications of timers where we require the timer we provide on delay or off delay. The timers are classified as based on their construction, pneumatic or mechanical or electromechanical or electro-pneumatic timers, electronics or solid state timer and PLC timer. Okay. Again, how we are providing the delay, based on that method, the timers are classified as on delay, off delay and retentive timers. Okay. So these three types they are available on both these pneumatic, mechanical, solid state and PLC timers. Now we just overlook the pneumatic on delay timer. Okay. So in pneumatic timer, so this is the pneumatic arrangement. This is a electrical coil. Okay. Here the instantaneous changeover contacts are provided. Here delay contacts are provided, normally open, normally closed on both instantaneous and time delay. Now in this pneumatic arrangement, bellow is there and based on the air flow through this restricted orifice and this airflow is controlled by using this time adjustment knob or this time adjustment needle. Okay. So this needle will control the opening of this restricted orifice, and based on the airflow, okay, if airflow is more, so the timing is less. If airflow is less, the timing will be more. Okay, so based on that, so we can set the delay on this pneumatic portion or on this pneumatic changeover context, okay, or auxiliary context. And these instantaneously contacts, they will change their state with the operation of this electric coil. So advantages of PLC timer. Okay, the entire timing function occurs inside the controller. Okay. So on mechanical or electronic timer, okay, so there is a knob is there, okay, and contacts are there. So based on this assembly, okay, so instead of using this say electric coil, pneumatic section, then auxiliary contacts, okay, all these total functions, they are available in the PLC controller. Okay. Then time setting can be easily changed. On electro-pneumatic timer or electronic timer, so there is a dial, and based on the scale on that dial, we can set the time. But in the PLC, first we can set the time base, and based on that we can set the time, accurate time, okay, in terms of decimal. We enter the value of time to be setted on the preset of the PLC timer. Okay. So number of timers used in a circuit can be increased or decreased through the use of programming changes rather than wiring changes. In hardwire system, if there are some changes or modifications are there in the process, and you have to add the timers, okay, so you have to wire this electronics timer or the mechanical timer. First thing. Second, you have to provide the space, or you have to adjust the space in the panel. Okay. But in case of PLC timer, if you require more number of timers, or you have to remove the timers, okay, so just by doing the changes in the program or in the ladder logic, okay, you can add or you can remove the timers. Okay, so there is no need to rewire the timers. Okay, just from the output of the PLC, you can use or you can connect the contactor coils or the lamp outputs. Okay, but there is no need to rewire it again. Okay, it can be done in the ladder program. Then timer accuracy, repeatability and reliability are extremely high because the time delays are generated in the PLC processor. Okay, so the timer accuracy is related to the timer time base and processor scan length. Okay. So for the total time required for the scanning of the program, okay, when looking at the timing cycle, accuracy is the degree of error between the actual time and the accumulated value in the timer instruction representing the timing cycle. Okay, so this is the accuracy of the timer. Repeatability in pneumatic timer, so depending on the environmental conditions, the quality of air, okay, the if the humidity is there, okay, if the air is dry, so based on that, so there is a slight change in the operation of the delayed contact. Okay. Again, in case of electronics timer, so if RC circuit is there, resistances are there, okay, so it will affect the temperature, atmospheric temperature, okay, and reliability. In case of mechanical timer, so there are moving parts, so there are chances of wear and tear in the moving parts of the mechanical timer. Okay. So the timer accuracy, repeatability and reliability are extremely high in the PLC timer instruction. Okay. So the mechanical timing relays and PLC timer provides time delay through two arrangements. Okay. First is on delay. The relay coil is energized or the timer instruction is true. Okay. Then the delay is provided, that is called as on delay. The second arrangement of delay provides time delay when the relay coil is de-energized or the timer instruction is false. Okay. After that, the delay is provided, okay, based on the operation or energization or de-energization of relay coil and true or false of the timer instruction. How delay is provided, based on that there is a on delay and off delay timers are there. Okay. So the timer instruction in the PLC timers are instructions that provide the same function as on delay and off delay, mechanical and electronic timing relays. So all PLC timers are output instruction. Okay. So when it receives the input, the timing instruction becomes true and it will generate the output. Okay. So it will generate the output, the done bit or timer's timing bit. Okay. So they will operate the output. Okay. So they are called as a output instruction. So based on the operation, there are three types: timer on delay, timer off delay and retentive timers. Okay. So on delay counts the time base interval when instruction is true. Off delay counts the time base interval when the instruction transition from true to false, and retentive timer counts time base interval when the instruction is a true and retains the accumulated value when instruction goes false or when power cycle occurs. Then reset instruction is used for the retentive timer's accumulated value to 0. Okay. This on delay timer and off delay timer, so these are non-retentive type timers. Okay. When the timer instruction goes false, the accumulator value is a reset to 0. So it is called as a non-retentive type timer. And in a retentive timer, so it retains the accumulated value. Okay. And to reset this accumulated value to 0, we required another instruction called as a reset instruction. Okay. So this reset instruction is used for non-retentive type instruction in the timers. Now from the online bar of RS Links or RS Logix 500, so we get this instruction toolbar, and if we press this right arrow, then we scroll from user to bit and the timer counter instruction set, and in this timer counter instruction set we get T on delay timer, T off delay timer, RTO retentive timer and reset instruction. Okay. So these are the three instructions for on delay timer, off delay timer and retentive timer. Okay. So these timer instructions looks like this. Okay. So according to IEC 61131, so this is the standard instruction mentioned by IEC for timers, okay, in the PLC. So apart from this block type instruction, so this coil type instruction is also used in the PLC for the timers. Okay. So this type of instruction is used by Mitsubishi and Toshiba. Okay. So this timer is having on delay, off delay or return to timer. Okay, so that is mentioned on the timer instruction. Apart from that, we have to write down the address for timer. We have to enter the preset value. We have to select the time base, and this is the accumulator, the internal word for the PLC, okay, for the incrementing purpose. So in this way, timer address, time base, preset, accumulator. Okay. Then the timer function, okay, timer address, okay, then preset value. Okay. So these parameters we have to set in the timer instruction. Now, how to write down the address for RS Logix 500 Rockwell Automation? T identifies the timer file. 4 is a timer file number in the data file of RS Logix 500. Okay. So 4th is a default number. Then column 2 is a timer element number. Okay. In that T4 file number. So what is the number of timer from that T4 file? Okay. Then we have to use the done bit, TT bit and enable bit in the ladder programming. Okay. So for that we have to write down the address for bit instructions of the timer. Okay. So T4:2/DN is the address for the done bit of timer 2. T4:2/TT is the address for timer timing bit of the timer 2. T4:2/EN is the address for enable bit of the timer 2. Okay. So in this way, for bit instructions of the timer, so after 2 we are using slash. We are using slash and we are mentioning the bit name, that is a done, TT or enable. Okay. For accumulator or preset, here we are entering the decimal number. Okay. And for that decimal number, the 16-bit word is used. Okay. And for that we are using dot. T4:2.ACC is the address for the accumulator of the timer 2. Similarly, T4:2.PRE is the address for the preset of the timer. Okay. So in the ladder diagram, we have to show the time elapsed from the accumulator, or we have to enter the preset value from the HMI. Okay. So directly we can write down this address on the HMI, and from where we can enter the decimal value. Okay. And that decimal number is stored in the binary format in the 16-bit in the preset register of the timer. Okay. So how many timing elements are available in this T4 file? Okay. Or what is this 2? Okay. So in T4 file, 0 to 255 timer elements are available. 0 to 255, like 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 255 timers are available in this data file T4. Okay. And all these timers are utilized. Then you require some more timers. Then we can create another data file. We can create another data file. Okay. So from 0 to 8. So these are the default data files available in RS Logix 500. Okay. And you utilize these 256 timers in T4 file. You need some more timers. Then you can create the file from 9 to 255 in data file. Okay. And that number will be changed. set file number 9, you create the timer file. So for that timer, the address will be changed T9. Okay. So that file will start with T9, and again after column you have to mention the element number in the T9 timer file. Okay. So in this way you can create more number of timer files. Okay. And in each file 256 timer elements are available. Okay. 0 to 255 timer elements per file. So in a single element or in a timer file, okay, so this is the arrangement. Okay. Word 0 is used for a bit type instruction, enable at 15 number, TT 14 number, done 13 number, and 0 to 12 bits are used for the internal use of the PLC. At word 1 we can set the preset value. Okay. And at word 2 we can monitor the accumulated value when the timer increments. Okay. So we can observe 0, 1, 2, 3 incrementing of the time. Okay. So these internal bits, they are not visible to the user. Okay. So user can use only enable bit, TT bit and done bit. So on this timer table .pre, so this 16-bit word is visible in terms of decimal. Again accumulator is also visible in terms of decimal. Okay. So in this way T4012 up to 255 files are available. If you create a new file, so here you can see T9 or the number of that file. Okay. Again in that file 256 timers are available. Okay. Now we'll see the bits, preset and accumulator available in the different words of the timer address. Okay. So the control and status word uses the following three control bits. Enable bit. Okay. It is abbreviated as EN. The enable bit is a true, has a status of 1, true or 1. Okay. Whenever the timer instruction is a true. When the timer instruction is false, the enable bit is false or has a status of 0. Okay. So from this ladder diagram, this is the timer instruction, and at the left side of this timer instruction, when this rung is a true, when this rung is true at the left side of the timer instruction, so this enable bit is 1. When this left side rung is false, then your timer status is 0 or it is false. Okay. Based on the rung status at the left side of this timer instruction, this enable bit is 1 or 0. Timer timing bit. The timer timing bit is a true whenever the accumulated value of timer is a changing. Okay. Means accumulator is always start from 0 incrementing by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So which means the timer is a timing. Okay. Or that is the accumulator is incrementing or it starts counting the time. During that period, this TT timer's timing bit is true. Okay. When the timer is not a timing, the accumulated value is not changing, so the timer timing bit is false. Okay. Means for on delay, off delay or retentive type timer, when the accumulator is start counting or it change its value, only that period the timer timing bit is high or it is set. In other states, it is in false condition. done bit. The done bit changes state whenever the accumulated value reaches the preset value. Okay, based on the preset value in the timer and the accumulated value in the timer. Okay, so these two values, they are compared and its state depends on the type of timer being used. Okay, so accumulated preset value, it is compared, and based on that the done bit will change its state. Okay. The next word 1, the preset value. Word is a set point of the timer. Okay, so based on your say if we take the example of star delta timer. Okay, for 10 HP motor, so your time is less as the motor rating is increased. Okay, so your time is go on increasing to reach the motor from 0 to its 80% speed. Okay, so to set this time, we have to use the preset, or we have to enter the time in the preset word. Okay, that is word 1. What is the maximum value we can set in the preset? That is a 32767 is the maximum value. It is in based on the time based select. Okay, so this is a maximum number we can enter in the preset. The accumulated value means word 2. Okay, is the value that increments as timer is a timing. Timer is timing. Okay, the accumulated value will stop incrementing when its value reaches the preset value. Okay, so when the timer instruction is true, okay, so this accumulator is start incrementing and it stops when that value is reaches to the preset value. Okay, in case of off delay timer, when the timer instruction is off, in that case this accumulator is started incrementing, and when this accumulated value is equal to the preset value, then it will stop incrementing. Okay, so this is the internal register for the timer. Okay, so user cannot change the value of this accumulator. It can enter the value in the preset word 1. Okay, so time base. Okay, in the timer, PLC timer, so 0.01, 0.01, 0.1 and 1. So these are the different values are available in the time based setting. In the time based setting. Okay, so what is mean by this 0.011? So these are time based and the unit is second. Unit is second. Okay, so 0.01 means 1 millisecond, 0.01 means 10 seconds, 0.1 means 100 millisecond, and 1 means 1 second. Okay, so out of these 4, only 3 time based values are available in the preset. So user can set the time base. User can select the time base through the available values. Okay, for 1 second, so the maximum time is 32,767 seconds. If it is 0.01, then 327 seconds, and for 0.001, 32 seconds are available. Okay, so this is the maximum value for this time base. Okay, for this time base. The timer accuracy refers to the length of time between the moment the timer instruction is enabled and the moment the time interval is complete. Okay, time interval is complete. Okay, so for time base 1, it is -1 For 0.01 it is minus 0.0120, and 0.001 seconds time base it is minus 0.00120. Okay. An excessive program scan time will disrupt the normal timer update from the processor. In SLC 500, the timer accuracy is minus 0.0120 seconds with a program scan of up to 2.5 seconds. As an example, a 1 second timer will maintain accuracy of a program scan of 1.5 seconds or less. Okay. So this is the accuracy based on the time base. The timer base, okay, there is a maximum value of 32,767 seconds, and in terms of minutes 546 minutes, in terms of hour approximately 9 hours, okay. And you required the time, say in case of furnaces, you required more time beyond this 9 hours or beyond this 546 minutes. Okay. How you can increase the time? For that, we use the two timers with the same time base on both timer. They are used in the cascade fashion. Okay. So the input instruction is used for the first timer, and the done bit of second timer is used to true the timer instruction of the second timer. Okay. Means here 32767, the value is entered into the preset of the first timer, and the 23,000 preset value is entered into the second timer to get the total time period of 55,767 seconds. Okay. So how it will operate? When this timer is when this input instruction is true, on the left side of this T on timer T410, this instruction is true, the enable bit is true, and the accumulator is start incrementing. So it will go up to 32767. When this accumulator and preset values are same, then the done bit of this T410 on delay timer is set, and this instruction is true. So the second timer T411 instruction is true and enable bit is high, and its accumulator is start incrementing. So it go from 0 to 23000, and the done bit is set of T411. The done bit is set, and in this way you can achieve the higher number time delay or more than 32767 time delay by using this timer connecting in the cascading. Okay. So in this way you can increase the time. Now we see the operation of on delay, off delay, and return to timer. Okay. How this done bit, TT bit, enable bit functions. Okay. So first we see in the description, and then we go for the timing diagram. Okay. So the T on instruction begins to count the time base interval when run condition becomes true. Okay. So based on the time base value, so it will increment when the run condition becomes true. Okay. As long as run condition remains true, the timer increments its accumulator until the preset value is reached. When run condition is true, accumulator is start incrementing, and it increments up to the preset value is reached. Okay. When the accumulator equals the preset, timing stops, or it incrementing the accumulator or counting the accumulator stops. Okay. The accumulator is reset 0 when run condition go false, regardless of whether the timer has timed out. Okay. T on timers are reset on power cycles and mode changes. So when the run condition goes false, its accumulator is reset to 0. Okay. So they are called as a non-retentive type instruction. Non-retentive type instruction. Okay. Now here see how this done bit, TT bit, enable bit set, or it remains set. Okay. During what different condition? Done bit. Okay. When the accumulated value is greater than or equal to preset value, this done bit is set, and it remains in a set condition till the run state is true. When run state goes false, this done bit is a reset. Timer timing bit. Run state is a true. First, run state must be true. Second, accumulated value is less than preset value, means the accumulator start counting from 0 up to the preset value. During that period, your timer timing bit is a set. Okay. When run state goes false, or when accumulated value is equal to preset value, done bit is set, timer's timing bit is reset. Okay. Enable bit. When run state is true, your enable bit remains in a set condition. When run state goes false, your enable bit is false. Okay. So in this way, with these conditions, your done bit, TT bit, and enable bit is set for on delay timer. Okay. On delay timer means when the run state is true, your enable bit is high and accumulator is started counting. Okay. So delay is provided when your timer instruction is a true. Delay is provided, accumulator start counting, and when this accumulated value is equal to the preset value, done bit is set and timer timing bit is reset. Okay. So this is the function of on delay timer, or the state of done bit and TT bit is changed with these conditions. Okay. Now this is a input timer. Okay. So when this input is true, the run condition is true here. Okay. When this run condition is true, your timer instruction is true. Okay. Or your timer period is a start incrementing, or your preset value. So this is time period, delay period set in the preset value. Then what about the timed output bit? That is done bit. Okay. So when this accumulated value is equal to the preset value, then your timed output bit is high, or it is a set to 1. Okay. So in this way, the timer accumulator timer output bit works. Okay. Now we see in details. So this is a input instruction, time on delay timer, then enable bit, TT bit, and done bit of T4 0 timer. Okay. So here we have to mention the timer address T4 0 out of 256, which element you are used. then here you have to set the time base. Preset, you have to enter the preset value or the delay value, okay, and this is accumulator. Now for this enable bit, TT bit and done bit, so we used green, red and yellow output lamps, okay. For this enable, TT and done bit, so we see how this timing diagram is worked. Okay. For input switch, there is a separate diagram is shown. For enable bit separate, TT bit, done bit and accumulator. Okay. When this input switch is closed, so its state is high or it is a true. Okay. With this input switch, the timer instruction is also true. Okay. So when this switch is closed, so this input is true, and on the left side of this timer, this instruction is true. Okay. When this instruction is true, so your enable bit is also true, because this enable bit is connected between high and low power range. Okay. Then when this enable bit is true, so your accumulator is start incrementing. Accumulator is start incrementing. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So when accumulator is start incrementing or it timer starts timing, so during that period your TT bit is set. Your TT bit is set. Okay. For on delay timer, when your input instruction is true, enable bit is true, at the same instant your TT bit is true, because accumulator is start incrementing. Okay. And after this 4 seconds, we open the switch, so switch is false or the state of switch is 0. Okay. So with this, the input instruction for the timer is false, so timer instruction is also false. Okay. So your accumulator is reset to 0 and it stops counting, incrementing, it reset to 0, and this TT bit is also reset to 0. Okay, from set to reset or from true to false transition is there. Means when input instruction is false, so enable bit, TT bit and accumulator, they change their state. Accumulator is a reset to 0. Okay, that's why it is called as a non-retentive type instruction. Okay. Now after few delay, again we close the switch. Okay, so it is a true. Enable instruction is true. Accumulator start incrementing, so your timer's timing bit is true or it is set. Okay, input instruction is set. At the same instant, your enable bit is set, TT is set, and accumulator start incrementing. Now this switch remains in a set condition. Enable bit is also remains in a set condition till this input goes false or this input rung condition goes false. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So our preset value is a 10 second. So accumulator starts incrementing 8, 9, 10. When this accumulator count 10 is equal to preset value, it stops incrementing. It stops incrementing. And at this condition, your accumulator is greater than or equal to the preset value, done bit is set. Done bit is set. Okay. So in this way, the done bit, TT bit or enable bit will change their state. So when switch is closed, rung state is true, enable bit is high. Okay. When enable bit is high, accumulator start incrementing, so timer's timing bit is set. Okay. When the accumulator value is equal to the preset value, means 10 is equal to 10, your done bit is set, and when done bit is set, the timer's timing bit is false or it is reset. Okay. So in this way, this on delay timer bits, control bit, they operates. Okay. They operates. So this is the timing diagram for on delay timer. Now we see the off delay timer. Use of T off instruction to delay turning off an output. Turning off an output. Okay. Means when this instruction is true, your output is on. Your output is on, and when this instruction goes false, so this delay is provided to turn off the lamp. Means as I told the example of rolling mill, and rolling mill is closed or it is shut down, but with this instant, so this off delay or accumulator is started counting, so which will provide the delay, and based on the time set in the preset value, after that particular set value, your lubricating pumps are turned off. Okay. So use of T off instruction to delay turning off an output. Okay. The T off instruction begins to count time based interval when run condition becomes false. When your run condition is false, then based on the time base, the interval starts incrementing. Okay. And when your accumulator is equal to preset value, the state of done bit is changed. Okay. So as long as the run condition remains false, the timer increments its accumulator until the preset value is reached. The accumulator is reset when run condition go true, regardless of whether the timer is timed out. Timer is timed out. So when the run condition goes false, okay, so done bit is reset. At the same time, the accumulator is also reset. Okay. So T off timers are reset on power cycle and mode changes. Okay. So this we see with the help of timing diagrams. Okay. Again we see the different conditions when done bit is set, TT bit is set, enable bit is set. Okay. So done bit for off delay timer, run conditions are true. When run condition is true, your done bit is set. Okay. And it set until the run condition goes false and accumulated value is greater than or equal to the preset value. Okay. When run condition is true, your done bit is set. When run condition goes false, accumulator start incrementing, and when accumulated value is greater than or equal to preset value, your done bit is reset. Done bit is reset. Means it set with the run condition as a true. When run condition goes false, accumulator start incrementing. When this condition is satisfied, your done bit is reset. TT bit, run condition are false. When the run condition is false, then your accumulator start incrementing. Run condition is false and accumulated value is less than the preset value. Okay. When run condition goes false, your accumulator start incrementing. So during that period, your TT bit is set. During that instant, your TT bit is set. Run condition goes true, or when the done bit is reset, your timing bit is also reset. Okay. And enable run condition are true, enable bit is true or set. Run condition goes false, enable bit is false. Okay. Now we see with the help of timing diagram. Okay. So again, T of instruction. This is a description of T of timer address T4:3. Okay. So in the T4 file, third timer is used, third element is used out of 256. Time base is 1. Preset value here, preset value is 15 seconds. Accumulator is by default, it is a 0. When this instruction is true, so it will start incrementing. Okay. And the done bit T43/done bit is used. Okay. To turn on the pilot lamp, to turn on or off the pilot lamp. Okay. So we'll start with the timing diagram. So as we say, input switch. With this input switch, this enable bit is set or reset. So it is shown by a single timing diagram. For TT bit, the green color is used. For done bit, the red color is used. Okay. So when the switch is closed, so it is true or it is a set. At the same instant, enable bit is also set. So enable bit is work with the input switch. Okay. So at this instant, so this done bit is set. When run condition is true, done bit is set. Okay. Then we open the switch. So switch condition or enable bit goes to false or reset. When this run condition goes false, so your accumulator is a start incrementing. Accumulator is start incrementing 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 15. Okay. So when accumulator start incrementing, so timer timing bit is set. Timer timing bit is set. Okay. And when the accumulator count is 15, which is equal to the preset value. Okay. Preset value is equal to accumulated value. So your done bit goes false or your done bit is reset. With this done bit is reset, your timer timing bit is also reset. Or we can say accumulator stops counting, the timer timing bit is reset or it goes to false condition or it goes to logic 0. Okay. So in this way, this off delay timer works. Okay. Means here we switch off the rolling mill. We switch off the rolling mill and this lubricating pump is turned on with the rolling mill is turned on and rolling mill is shut down. Still the lubricating pump is on, and after the preset value on the off delay timer, after that preset value, your lubricating pump is turned off. Okay. In this way, off delay timer functions. Okay. Now we see the retentive type timer. Okay. Use the RTO instruction to delay turning on and output. The RTO begins to count time base interval when run condition becomes true. Okay. Similar to the on delay timer, when the run condition is true, your accumulator starts incrementing. As long as the run condition remains true, the timer increments or the accumulator increments until the preset value is reached. Until the preset value is reached. But the difference is that here again we take the example of rolling mill. Okay. After certain working hours, the temperature of lubricating oil is increased, and with this increase in the temperature, the viscosity of lubricating oil is decreases, and we have to replace this oil. Okay. Say after 100 working hours. We have to replace the oil. Okay, and in a day the rolling mill works for 10 hours. Okay, so in the morning we turn on the rolling mill, so your accumulator starts incrementing. After 10 hours we switch off or we shut down the rolling mill. Okay, so this accumulator stops incrementing, but it will retain its value 10. Next day we start the rolling mill, so it will start incrementing from the previous retained value in the accumulator from 10. Okay, so it will start from 10. Okay, and again after 10 hours of working in a day, so total time period is a 20 in the accumulator. Okay, so it will retain this 20 value. In this way, so it is go on incrementing. It is go on incrementing, and when this accumulator value is equal to the preset value, its done bit is set. Its done bit is set. Okay, so it work similar to on delay timer, but on delay timer is a non-retentive type instruction. But in this case, when the rung instruction goes false, so it will retain its previous value in the accumulator, and when rung condition is true, so it will start counting from the retained value. Okay, so the RTO retains the accumulated value when the following occurs: rung condition becomes false, change the controller mode from run or test to program mode, the processor loses power, a fault occurs. Okay, means because of any condition out of this condition, when the timer instruction goes false, so it will retain the value in the accumulator. Okay, so when you return the controller to the run or test mode and or the run condition goes true, timing continues from the retained accumulated value. Okay, so it will start incrementing from the retained value, previously retained value in the accumulator. Okay, again you understand how this accumulator retain the value, how it will start incrementing with the timer instruction true or false or the run condition. Now we see how this done bit, TT bit and enable bit is set or reset. Okay, enable bit, rung state true, enable bit is true, rung state goes false, enable bit goes false. Done bit, when accumulated value is equal to the preset value, means 10 hours working per day. So after at the end of 10th day, when the accumulated value is 100, which is equal to the preset value 100, so your done bit is set, and it will give you an alarm so that you can understand now it is a time to replace the lubricating oil for the rolling mill. Okay, so in this way, when accumulated value is equal to preset value, your done bit is set. It remains set. The appropriate reset instruction is enabled. Now in that case, on delay timer, when run condition goes false, your done bit is reset. But here this is a retentive type instruction, so we need a separate reset instruction to reset the count in the accumulator to 0. Okay, to 0. Timer's timing bit, rung state is true, and when accumulated value is less than preset value or accumulator start counting for that period or for that duration, timer timing bit is set. Rung state goes false or done bit is set, your timer's timing bit is reset. Okay, so in this way, this done bit, TT bit, enable bit work in the retentive type timer. Okay, so to reset the accumulator of a retentive timer, use a reset instruction. the reset instruction reset the timer and control elements. Okay, the bit in the word 0. So it will, this timer instruction word 0 are reset by using this reset instruction. Okay. So when the reset instruction is executed, it resets the data defined by this instruction. Okay. So the data or the address given to reset instruction. Okay. So it will reset the particular retentive timer. The reset instruction has no effect when rung state is false. Okay. When reset rung is false, so there is no effect. But when we press the reset button, this reset instruction or this reset rung is a true, then reset instruction is executed and it will reset the data for the defined retentive type timer instruction. Okay. So when using reset instruction with a timer element, the controller reset the accumulator value to 0. It will reset done bit, TT bit and enable bit. Okay. So with the help of this reset instruction, okay, so this timer element control or resets the accumulator, done bit, timer timing bit and enable bit. Okay. So for this retentive type timer, we need a separate reset instruction. Okay. So here there is a momentary push button to operate the reset instruction or to true the reset instruction, and this is the push button for retentive type timer. Okay, or the input for the retentive type timer. Okay. So this T4 second element is used, time base is 1, preset is 9. Okay, and for this reset instruction, the address of this timer T4:2 is assigned to the reset instruction. When we press this reset push button, this instruction is a true. When this instruction is true, so it will reset the accumulator, it will reset the done bit, TT bit for this T4:2 timer. T4:2 timer. Okay, means after 9 seconds, this done bit is reset. This pilot lamp is turn on. Okay, but for the turn off this pilot lamp, okay, so we have to press this reset button. When this reset instruction is executed or it is a true, so it will reset T4:2 timer's accumulator, done bit, timer timing bit. Okay, so in this way, by using this reset instruction, we can reset the retentive type timer. Okay, now we go for the timing diagram. Again here in this case, push button is shown on separate line, enable bit, accumulator, done bit, lamp, output lamp, pilot lamp, then reset push button. Okay, so preset is 9. Okay. So when we press this input push button for 3 seconds, enable bit is high and accumulator is start incrementing from 0, 1, 2, 3, and after 3 seconds we reset this push button to 0. Okay, your enable bit is 0 and accumulator stores this 3 number. Okay, or it retains this 3 seconds or the 3 value in its accumulator. Okay, so accumulated value retains when the rung condition goes false. Okay, so it is held at 3. Okay. Then after few seconds we press the push button PB1. Okay, enable bit is high with this push button, again accumulator is start incrementing. Okay, it will start counting from these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, when the accumulator value is equal to the preset value, the done bit is set. This done bit is set, and when this done bit is set or done bit is true, pilot lamp is turned on. Pilot lamp is turned on. Okay, means after 9 seconds, this done bit is closed. This output instruction is true, and pilot lamp is turned on. Okay, pilot lamp is turned on. Okay, and it remains in a set condition. Done bit remains in a set condition. Accumulator retain its previous count, that is 9. Okay, and it remains in a same state, in same condition. Okay, but for reset of this retentive type timer, we have to press this reset push button PB2, and which is having the address is defined here T42. Okay, so when this input button is pressed, so a reset instruction is true. When this reset instruction is true, your accumulator value is changes from 9 to 0, and done bit is reset to 0. Done bit is reset to 0. Okay, so in this way, this retentive type timer instruction work. Okay, now for this lecture, so these are the references used. Okay, the learning outcome. Okay, so you can able to describe the pneumatic type timer, how the done bit or the delay is provided or delay is set, how these instantaneous contacts, they change their state. Okay, so based on that, so you can able to describe the on delay, off delay timer, or you can able to describe the timing diagram. You can able to describe the operation of done bit, TT bit, enable bit with the help of timing diagram. Okay, so you can write down the correct address for the timer for done bit, enable bit, timer's timing bit, accumulator, and preset value. Okay, so you understand there are 3 words in the timer element: word 0, word 1, word 2. Word 0 is a bit, control and status bits are there. In word 1, 16-bit binary number is there, so where we can store the preset value that is entered in the decimal, but that number is stored in terms of binary number. You can differentiate between non-retentive and retentive timer, means on delay, off delay timer and the retentive type timer. Okay, and after learning all these timers, so you can build the small program for on delay timer, off delay timer, or the process statement is given or the process sequence is given. So from that you can able to select the timer, you can able to select the done bit or timer's timing bit, which bit you have to use for that process. Okay, so these are the learning outcomes. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.